Nobody tells you that building your dream life will feel like you're failing most of the time. And it's weird, okay? I know you're doing exactly what you want to do. You're working for yourself. You've got more freedom and you're building a business. You're building something real. And still, you can wake up some days feeling like you are falling behind, feeling like you're not working fast enough, maybe feeling like you're not cut out for it. Look, and it's not because you're doing anything wrong. It's because no one tells you how hard the in-between part is, the part that hasn't been paid off yet, but is still demanding everything from you. So look, in today's video, I wanted just to share with you the seven toughest lessons I had to learn about being my own boss, about being self-employed, about building a business. Stuff I wish somebody had told me back when I first started. And it's not all going to be about the business side, but the personal side too. The stuff that actually changes you, okay? What's up, YouTube? Welcome to this channel. My name is Jacob. I own and run a full-time online reselling business. I've owned it for about a decade now. And look, I started with nothing, okay? Nothing fancy, no money, literally from the ground up. Right now, I'm literally, I work out of my garage part-time. I'm working out of my garage right now. I'm wearing a dirty Patagonia hat. There's dust on these bins behind me. But look, I'm doing it day in, day out, piece by piece, and it's a business that works. It's a six-figure business. It's what's unlocked my life, for me, my family, all that good stuff. It's changed my life in so many ways for the absolute best. And look, I am not here to sell you anything. I'm not, trying to be a guru on here. I'm just here to offer something real, the kind of content I wish I could have found when I was figuring all this out, almost a decade ago. So here's my Scout's honor to you. If you get value from this, feel free to subscribe. If not, that is okay. I just appreciate you giving me a shot. So that's all I got to say. All right, let's get into it. Lesson one is nobody is coming to check on you, okay? And this is a blessing and a curse. When you work a regular job, there's always somebody watching you, a manager, your schedule, a meeting to show up for. But when you work for when you work for yourself, it's literally just you. No one checks your progress. No one holds you accountable. No one cares if you sleep in or waste the day. It's all on you. And that can either be terrifying or freeing, because the truth is you're the only one responsible now. If you don't show up, nothing moves. If you do halfway work, nobody's going to stop you. You have to learn to be your own boss in the truest sense. And that means showing up even when you don't feel like it. And trust me, there are going to be many days you don't feel like it. So just show up. That's all that really matters at the end of the day. The second hardest lesson I had to learn about owning a business, being self-employed, is you can be busy and still make no money. You can be busy and still literally be broke. There's a difference between working and getting results. In the beginning, I thought, staying busy meant I was on the right track. I'd spend hours with my business just organizing things, tweaking, my logo, just tweaking things, rearranging my workspace. I was all motion, and motion is fantastic, okay? It's good to be in motion, but all motion doesn't mean all progress. It's easy to trick yourself into thinking you're building something just because you're tired at the end of the day, okay? But tired doesn't always mean productive either. I had to learn to ask myself what actually moves that needle for my business every single day. What actions lead to results, not just a false sense of accomplishment. It takes a lot of time to figure out how to cut the busy work from your business and focus on the actions that bring in the money, the growth, and the actual progress. And typically it comes down to the simplest things in your business. So take a step back and look at actually what works. Okay. The third lesson Consistency beats motivation every single time. Look, motivation comes and goes. It's a fickle mistress. Some days you feel on fire, like you can knock out a 12-hour shift, no problem. Okay. Other days it feels like a grind just to, get your computer open. Early on, I thought the goal was to stay motivated. I was always looking for the next source of motivation. Now I know that's not realistic. You will literally burn out. What you really need is consistency. I preach about this all the time on this channel. A system, a schedule, a baseline you can rely on even when you're tired, even when life is out of order and life is chaotic. A system that holds you afloat. The truth is, I've had a lot of my best days when I feel the worst physically, simply because I stuck to the process that worked. You can't rely on feeling good all the time. You just have to rely on doing the work. You just have to show up and execute your systems. Okay? Lesson 4. Your time is your most valuable asset. When you start out, it's easy to think that you have to do everything. You ship every order. I'm speaking from my business. You ship every order. You edit every photo. You answer every email. You drive across town to a different store to save those extra couple dollars. Eventually, you realize that your time is a lot more valuable than your money, and wasting it, even on the small things, adds up. Every hour you spend on a low value task is an hour you could have spent building something bigger. You have to protect your time no matter what. It's like the only resource in life that we can't get back. Automate what you can, outsource what slows you down. Say no to anything that doesn't matter. And that is very, very hard to do. But look, time isn't just money. It's also growth. It's peace, it's freedom, and you don't get it back. So you better spend it wisely, okay? Lesson number 5, the money you make is not going to fix your bad habits. And there was a point when I thought that, if I just made a little bit more money, all this would go away. Everything would be easier. But when I did make more, I realized I had the same problems. I was still being late. I was still felt behind. I was still stressed in certain areas. I still felt disorganized. Look, money didn't fix any of that. It just made the cracks. It made those things feel more obvious. The truth is, if your systems are broken, back to systems again, it's what I preach. If your systems are broken when you're making $1,000 a month, they'll still be broken when you start making $10,000 a month. You can't scale the chaos. So before chasing more income, fix those habits, fix those routines, and the mindset you're running on now. And then, because more money is not going to fix them, okay? Lesson number 6, freedom comes with the price, and it's unfortunate. I know everybody talks about the freedom that comes with working for yourself, and that is true. That is real, okay? You get to decide what your day looks like. You get to choose what you work on. You answer to yourself. It's an amazing, freeing feeling. But the flip side is freedom costs something. Freedom costs something tangible. There's no guaranteed paycheck. That's a big one for a lot of people. There's no paid days off, another big one for a lot of people. There's no safety net, and that might be the biggest one for a lot of people. You literally carry the weight of every decision you make. Every win is yours, and that's amazing, but every failure is also yours. And that's the trade-off. You give up security to chase ownership. You give up comfort to gain control. And that's the price. Is it worth it? To some people it is, but only if you're willing to carry it, okay? And that's a big decision to make. Now, lesson 7, and this is a big one, you have to grow as a person as you grow your business. This might be the biggest one, actually. Your business will only grow literally as much as you do. If you're impatient, if you're disorganized, insecure even, that will show up in the way you work, in the way you lead, and the results that you get with your business. Look, I personally, I've had to become a lot more patient, a lot more focused. I've had to become tremendously more disciplined. I've had to get honest about my weaknesses and do something about them. Actually, not just push them off to the side, actually address them. Because success doesn't just demand work, it also demands growth out of you. And that growth is uncomfortable, but it's necessary, because the better you get, the better everything around you gets. So, look, working for yourself is one of the single hardest things you can do, but it's also probably the single most rewarding thing you can do. You will learn who you really are, what you're made of, what you want to, you'll learn what you actually want your life to look like, because it's probably not what you think you want it to be once you start working for yourself. Look, these lessons didn't come easy to me. I had to learn them through real trial and error, through tons of setbacks, through slow months, through long days, but I am glad I did, because now I don't just have a business, I have something that I have built with my own hands. And nobody can take that away from me. Look, if you are on the same path, building something from scratch, trying to make it work, I see you and I appreciate you, okay? Keep going. The lessons will come. The progress will come. Just do not quit before they do. All right? Those are the 7 hard lessons I have learned about being my own boss, being self-employed, building a business from the ground up by myself. So, I hope you guys got some valuable information from today's video. If you did, I would appreciate a like, subscribe. If not, just thank you for your time. With that being said, be good to one another, and I'll see you guys on another video. Peace.